Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is looking to be a pretty good game. We have multiple characters, multiple stages, multiple game modes. It's just looking like to be the perfect Super Smash Bros. Game. That Direct gave us so much good information, but it did leave a little thing out. That one game mode at the very end. We don't know what it is, but you know, people already have decoded it, and it's at Spirits. Wow guys, you guys are crazy. So what is this Spirits game mode? Well, many people have already decided that it's some sort of story mode, similar to Subspace, but it's probably not going to be as vast and big as Subspace. But one thing that is hinting to that being a Subspace or like story mode is the fact that we have bosses. We've already gotten confirmation of 2 bosses, Dracula from the Castlevania series and Rathalos from the Monster Hunter series. But this leads me to wonder, what other bosses are we going to see in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? Even if it's not part of the story mode, it seems that bosses are a really big thing in this game. So, I'm compiling a list of a couple bosses that I would like to see in the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate either game mode or just in general. But before we go on with that, let's take a look back at the old bosses we had in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, being the Yellow Devil, Metal Face, and Dark Lord. Now, I most likely think that all of these bosses are going to appear in the story / whatever mode it's going to be, but we don't know so far. All we've seen them is on stages. However, I think out of all of them, the Yellow Devil is probably the most likely to be a boss. Now let's take a look back at Super Smash Bros. Brawl Subspace Emissary, where we got a plethora of bosses. However, one of them, Ridley, is already playable. But to be honest, I think the only one that's gonna come back as a boss for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is Petey Piranha. And the main reason I think that is because I feel like there's gonna be part of a story mode where you're traveling through Delfino Plaza and out of nowhere, Petey Piranha pops out. It would make sense since they both come from Sunshine. Now that we've finished looking back at the old games, let's look at the new bosses that I think could be added to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Let's take a look at the bosses from the Super Mario series, since that's the main game of Nintendo. Now, there's tons of bosses to choose from the Mario series, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and go off the limb a little bit here and say Cortez from the Paper Mario 1000 Year Door game. Now, why did I choose Cortez? Well, to be honest, he was just one of my favorite bosses from the 1000 Year Door. He just seemed so unique out of all of them. All of them were either just a different form of another character or just a big giant robot. Another reason I chose Cortez is, well, if this Spirits game mode is related to the boss battles, then it would make sense because in the boss battle for Cortez, Cortez actually will suck the spirits out of the audience to regain power. So it would make sense for a spirit-taking boss to be in the Spirits game mode. And the way you encounter him could be quite interesting. Let's say you were on the Paper Mario stage and you were on the scene where it was 1000 Year Door and you're riding the boat. Out of nowhere, Cortez comes out and comes for ye booty. That be treasure, you know. But he isn't the only Paper Mario boss I have on this list, because I actually have one of the most memorable Paper Mario bosses, and that is Dementio from Super Paper Mario. Now, I chose him because, well, the whole fact of souls being stolen could play into Dementio somehow hiring the Reaper or going after Luigi himself and taking Luigi's soul to form Super Dementio. This could also be a chance to get some Super Paper Mario love in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, since the Paper Mario stage goes through every Paper Mario game minus Super Paper Mario. So having a boss from Super Paper Mario could make up for it. But it wouldn't make sense to have a Spirits game mode without having the spirit of the Super Mario universe, being King Boo. King Boo is Luigi's rival, and it would make total sense to have King Boo be one of the bosses in the Spirits game mode, since he is a spirit himself. He could send out spirits to go retrieve other people's spirits. How many times am I going to say spirits in this video? Jesus. So that's it for the Mario series. Now let's move on to the DK series. We finally have King K. Rool joining the roster as a playable character, so I think it'd be appropriate to have one of the bosses beat Chaos from Donkey Kong Country 3. Chaos was designed by King K. Rool, or more specifically Baron K. Roolenstein, to kidnap DK and Diddy. So I could see the story where King K. Rool sends Chaos to kidnap DK and Diddy to retrieve their spirits. Chaos' method of attack will be similar to how he actually fights in the Donkey Kong Country game, using boxing gloves, blades, and lasers to shoot down the opponent. If they don't go with Chaos, I think a close second will probably be Belchett, since he's the first boss you fight, and he's basically a giant DK barrel, which shouldn't be hard to implement. So now let's move on to Fire Emblem. We have tons of Fire Emblem characters in the game, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a Fire Emblem boss. Who to pick though? Pick Ike's mortal enemy, Black Knight. Now, Black Knight actually got a Mii costume in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, and if you look closely in the Castle Sage stage, you can actually see Black Knight all the way in the back sitting on his chair. So I could see in the story mode where he finally gets out of that chair and starts fighting the opponent. He'd be a big swordsman, hard to hit, and will have massive defense. And if we're following story mode, it would make sense for Ike to fight Black Knight since they both have a big rivalry with each other. Now let's move on to the Pokemon series. Now there's tons of Pokemon they can choose from, like Arceus, Giratina, or even Tapu Koko if they really wanted to. But I don't really want to see another legendary as a boss. I want to see something more unique. That's why I'm choosing Team Rocket, and not just the regular Team Rocket you've seen in the Pokemon games. I'm talking about Jessie, James, and Meow from the Pokemon anime. Now normally I wouldn't choose something that comes from a TV show or anime, but since we now see Jessie, James, and Meow appearing in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, I think they have more of a chance now since they're actually being in the games now. And I can totally see how it goes down. Let's say Pikachu and Samus are paired up again, and they're just strolling through Saffron City. Out of nowhere, Team Rocket will come and try to kidnap Pikachu. It just totally works out. It'd be amazing to see Team Rocket, and you know what they gotta do. They gotta do their monologue.
Prepare for trouble!
Make it double!
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Jessie!
James!
Team Rocket, blast off at the speed of light!
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
Meow, that's right.
Oh, that'd be amazing. And when they get KO'd, they have to do their Team Rockets blasting off again. It's just, so many things fit perfectly for the comical aspect of Super Smash Bros. But they can also be serious because they have been serious before in the past, like in the Pokemon Black and White anime. But if I had to choose a legendary Pokemon, I guess they could go with Necrozma since he's the newest legendary Pokemon that's appeared in Sun and Moon. Next up, with the inclusion of the Inkling into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I could totally see them adding the final boss from that game, DJ Octavio. It would just make perfect sense to have an Octoling or an Octarian represent the villain side for Splatoon. I could see him piloting Octobot King 1 or Octobot King 2 from Splatoon 1 or 2 respectively, and basically shooting giant tentacle missiles, multiple stingrays, bombs, giant fists, killer whales. So basically, just a bunch of the supers from Splatoon 1 and 2. They can even throw in cameos of the characters that showed up in the boss fight, like the Squid Sisters, Captain Cuttlefish, and Sheldon. So yeah, DJ Octavio has a lot of potential to be a really cool boss. Alright, this is the last Nintendo boss that will be on this list. Every other boss from here on out will be third party. So, who did I choose? Of course, the big king himself, Ganon. No, not Ganondorf, just Ganon. For the longest time, people wanted Ganondorf to use magic and weapons in his arsenal. We sort of got that now with him using his swords, but not so much the magic. So, I thought I'd fill in the category by adding Ganon as a boss that uses both magic and weapons in his arsenal. I feel like his boss fight would be exactly similar to how he fights in Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, where he throws his trident, shoots fireball, shakes the ground, and even teleports. So I could totally see Ganon being a boss, but I did have a theory that they could probably even use the final smashes of characters as bosses. So Giga Bowser, Beast Ganon, heck even Wario Man, that would be pretty insane. And now we move on to third-party bosses. The only third parties I see getting bosses are Metal Gear and Sonic. And for Metal Gear, an obvious choice would be the Metal Gears, any of them honestly, but more specifically, I would like them to choose Metal Gear Rex. As for Sonic, of course, just have Dr. Eggman in his Egg Mobile. That'd be pretty easy. It would make sense to choose a Metal Gear since Metal Gears actually show up on Shadow Moses Island after they break down the wall, since they're pretty much the main purpose of, Metal Gear. And Dr. Eggman is Sonic's main rival, so it would make sense to choose him as the rival for whatever boss mode this is. And finally, I did say there was going to be no more Nintendo bosses, but there's one main boss we all gotta look at. And that's the boss that appeared in Subspace Emissaries, Taboo. Now, what are the chances of Taboo actually returning for whatever mode this is? Well, it's pretty high honestly. Taboo seems to be the #1 boss of the entire Super Smash Bros. Universe, so it would make sense for Taboo to return, maybe have a new form. Taboo had a major impact on the characters in Subspace Emissaries, so it would make sense for him to return as the #1 boss, but I'm not sure if he will be the final boss. There'll probably be a boss above him, who knows. Now those are all the bosses I could name off, but we're not quite done yet as you can see by the timestamp of the video. We have one more category to talk about, and that's mini bosses. Now if you remember in Subspace Emissaries, not only do we fight bosses, but we also fought these clones of characters like the Shadow Peach, Shadow Zelda, and even the giant Shadow Diddy Kong. So I'd like to see that return in some shape or form. Maybe after the bodies are snatched of their souls, their bodies can be used as basically flesh puppets. It'd be kind of weird and it'd be gross, but it would make sense. Another way they could do this is by introducing bosses that are similar to other characters, but will be completely different. For example, who remembers Metal Mario? Metal Mario used to be the main mini boss you fought right before Master Hand in Classic Mode, so it'd be nice to see him return as well with Metal Luigi. Now I'm not going to go too in depth on these characters because, well, they're mini bosses, but here's some I can name off right off the bat. Dark Bowser, Galactic Knight / Morpho Knight, Dark Link, Metal Sonic, and Akuma. They can all work similar to Metal Mario, being based on a character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And that pretty much does it. Those are all the bosses and mini bosses I could see being added to the spirits mode, game mode, adventure mode, story mode, whatever it's gonna be. I could see those bosses and mini bosses appearing. Did you agree with my picks? Do you have some of your own? Leave it down in the comments below so I can read what kind of bosses and mini bosses you would like to see appear in this whatever mode this is. And if you have some of your own theories on what this mode is, go ahead and leave it in the comments below so I can see what you guys think about. I can't wait till Super Smash Bros. Ultimate comes out, because once that comes out, that's all I'm going to be playing for the next 3 to 5 months. So just expect a lot of Smash Bros. Content when that comes out. See you guys next time, and this is Dyacx signing off.